to all faithful in the building, and salute to the patrons. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander in Chief, here to bring you all a live top 5 video segment. But before I go ahead and jump into this list, I want to give a huge shout out and a grand salute to longtime OAW patron Khalil Young. Salute to you, sir. Thanks again for being a patron. Thanks again for requesting this week's top 5 topic. And if you guys have a request for a top 5 list of your own, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/OAW and select the top 5 tier. And so, with that being said, this is going to be my top 5 favorite anime fights. Let's get into it.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Once again, thanks to everybody. Shout out to everybody who's watching. Shout out to all of the faithful in the building, and salute to the patrons. Yes. So once again, as I just mentioned, this is another top 5 video that was requested by OAW patron Khalil Young. And it's actually one that's been brought up in some of my recent Q&As. I remember it popped up in the comments. I want to say it was the Q&A from February. Somebody brought this up. And so my man Khalil was like, shit, man, why don't you just do it as one of my requests for the month? I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, I can do it. I can do that. So that's how this topic came about. Real quick though, I do want to let you all know that I am doing, I guess you could call it somewhat of like a user or viewer interaction initiative and whatnot. But we do have a super chat challenge that I am introducing in this video. So as I mentioned at the very start, for any of you all who have a top 5, a request for a top 5 topic that you'd like to see me do a video of, you can always become a patron, right? You can always become a patron and select the top 5 tier. Once again, that is patreon.com/OAW. But I thought it would be cool to actually open this up to the faithful to do sort of like a community top 5 request. So this is what I mean by that. What I'm doing is I'm pretty much introducing a super chat goal, right? Because every time I'm live, whether it's a movie review, whether it's, a Q&A, whatever have you, we always got supporters in the building who want to support the channel, want to support the content. They send super chats, whatnot, right? And I did do this once before where I was doing sort of like a fundraiser initiative, right? But I thought it'd be kind of cool just to see what type of response might be out there. So this is what I'm proposing. I am proposing a $20 super chat goal, right? If by the end of this video, we hit the $20 super chat goal, then I'll do an additional top 5 for you all later this month. And the way we'll do this is just like how we used to do top 5 way back in the day, right? Once the live stream is over and it archives on YouTube where you guys can watch it after the fact, submit comments for requests for the top 5 topic, and then thumb up the one you want to see. And then that way, whichever one's the most popular one, that will be like the bonus top 5 for the month. So that's what I'm introducing tonight. By all means, if you guys want to, and I thought it was kind of cool too. Once again, if you just decide like, you know what, no, I don't want my donation to be subject to popular vote, right? Like a popular poll. No, I want to secure it. You can always do that. Once again, that is patreon.com/OAW. But if you guys want to do like, it's a pool, essentially is what it is. It's a pool, right? Everyone, $2 here, $3 there. Everyone pools together and then vote for a community topic that they want to see a top 5 for. That's the idea. All right. And I see the faithful are piling into the building. What's happening? All right, so we are going to go ahead and we're going to get started. We're going to crack open this top 5 favorites anime list. Now, let me say for the record, this was an extremely difficult list to make. Let me explain why. Because let me just make some things clear, all right? So first and foremost, this is another favorites list, which means it is not a best of, right? All right. So this is not the top 5 fights that I think are the best fights in anime. Nope, nope, nope. Because that was an even harder list to make, right? But no, it's the ones that are my favorites, right? The ones that I like a lot, right? But guess what? Even with it being a favorite, that is still an extremely difficult list to make. I'm gonna tell you guys why. What if my favorites all come from the same series? Then that means some fights from other series or other films don't get included, right? And then what qualifies as a favorite? Is it one that I think is the best animated? Is it one that I think is the most exciting? Right? Like it was really, really hard to try and like come up with this list. But these are the rules I came up with because I came up with rules for myself. Because you got to do that when you're making a list of this magnitude, right? So here's the number one rule: only one fight per series or per film or per franchise, right? So only one per franchise. So you won't see multiple fights from the same series on this list, right? Not in the top 5 anyway. Okay, so that was the number one rule. Here's the number 2 rule. The number 2 rule, and it's kind of the most important one: it had to be a fight that I revisited numerous times. That's what constituted it as a favorite, because I'm like, man, this series got a bunch of fights I like, and that movie, and what if it's the same movie? How do you determine which fight do you like if there's multiple fights in the same movie, right? Which one did I visit the most? So that was the criteria that pretty much went into the creation of this list. Yeah, that's what we're working with. All right. All right. So, all right. So with that being said, let's go ahead. Oh, and one final note. After the top 5 list is completed, I will be taking questions. But once again, just like my last movie review, ideally, questions are reserved. They're going to be reserved for this topic. But once again, with the super chat initiative, because once again, we have a super for everybody just joining in. We have a super chat goal tonight. $20 super chat goal. I'll do an extra top 5 this month, right? But if you guys any question, any comment, whatever you guys have in super chat takes priority. I'll answer it regardless. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's kick things off. Let's just jump right into it, man. All right. So number 5 on top 5 favorite anime lists, anime fights list. Number 5, Goku versus Cell. This one I'm pretty sure is going to shock a lot of people. And the reason for it is because no one ever talks about this fight in the Cell saga or in the Cell games itself. What are the ones everyone talks about? You hear people talk about, of course, the most popular one is Gohan versus Cell, right? But then you'll also hear people talk about Vegeta versus Cell, Trunks versus Cell, right? You'll hear, I know a lot of my friends, they like the Piccolo versus 17 fight, right? The 18 versus Vegeta, and technically 18 versus Vegeta and Trunks, which almost made my list, right? They'll talk about that one. No one ever talks about the Goku versus Cell fight. All right, so Larry, why did you put this on the list then, man? All right, I'm gonna tell y'all why. All right. So, like I said, the first rule was it could only be one fight per series, right? And the fight that almost made it on the list, there's another one that almost made it on the list. It's in my honorable mention, which I'll get to later, right? But the reason why this one made my list is because regardless of what we later find out about what occurred in this fight, right? Because depending on who you ask and depending on what your interpretation of about what happened after this fight, right? Because Goku essentially set out, right? He took himself out of the fight. He put Gohan in his place. And then he told everybody that I gave my all and I still wasn't able to beat Cell, and Gohan's the only one who could beat Cell. I knew it all along. I knew it when I was training him in the hyperbolic time chamber. Like, I knew it always had to be Gohan. That's what we were told afterwards, right? Regardless of that, in the actual fight itself, Goku went all out. Goku went all out in that fight. All right. Now, the reason why I brought up what happened after the fight is because some fans theorized that Goku didn't give his all because he knew, it eventually had to be Gohan and the whole passing of the torch thing. Because we know Goku holds back. We know he does, because he does this in Buu Saga when he fought Vegeta. He didn't go Super Saiyan 3, although he could have, right? So there's been some speculation about that type of thing. But the reason why I made it on my list, I'm gonna tell you this. There is one episode in particular that is very memorable, and it's arguably one of my favorite episodes in the entire series. My favorite episode is Transformed at Last, which is when Goku goes Super Saiyan for the first time during the Frieza fight. But there's another one. Shit, if I ever do a top 5 favorite DBZ episodes, this is in the top 5. The episode is called No More Games. That is the episode when Cell decides to destroy the ring so that they no longer have to restrict themselves to the world tournament rules that Cell predicated the Cell games on. He based it off of the tournament of the Tenkaichi Budokai, the world tournament, the world martial arts tournament. So what happens is Cell's like, you know what? We can't step out of the ring. We can't do this, that, and the other. I'm just gonna blow this mother sucker up, right? So Cell destroys the ring so that him and Goku can go no holds barred. And for those of you all who remember that episode and notice, look at the picture. This was the episode that introduced the Warp Kamehameha, which was a hell of an ending. And the episode ends like that. The episode ends with Goku hitting that Warp Kamehameha. Because remember, the setup for it is this big fake out. Goku goes all the way up in the air. He starts charging this Kamehameha, and everyone's like, wait a minute. If he launches that from that position, he'll destroy the earth. Like, we'll all be wiped out, right? And Goku's like so intense, and he's just like, oh, like, because he's so pissed off at this point, right? And everyone thinks like Goku's lost his mind. Oh my God, he's about to kill us all. And then at the last second, instant transmission right in front of Cell. And dude, there's that. I love the scene. I wish I could show the clip and not get hit with copyright, but there's a pause when Cell sees him, and then he's like, no, and boom, and Goku hits him point blank. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then of course, if you all remember, like, I mean, we find this out like at the end of the episode, but in the next episode, like all of Cell's, like everything above Cell's like wind column, essentially, his windpipe is blown off. Head's blown off, shoulders blown off, like just decimated, right? And then of course that's when we find out like Cell has ridiculous regeneration abilities, right? But Goku blew him halfway to hell. That's essentially what happened. That particular episode also has the little fast track scene when Goku and Cell are, and then they do kind of cheat us with this, where they go into that that hyper speed type of thing where all we see are like the booms in the sky, but we don't actually see them. And then the characters is like, oh my God, they're moving so fast, I can't see them. And it's like, oh no, and yeah, and that's the scene. That's the episode when everyone's doing this. Because they can see them and they're just following their movements. Yeah. So we do get cheated out a little bit on some potential animation, but what is in here is really good. Because when I was talking about the fast track, like there's that sequence when like essentially like Goku and Cell are kind of like almost skating across the ring because they're just moving so fast, and Cell gets Goku to like the edge of the ring, and then they're just going super, super fast. Yeah. I love, dude. It's one of the, in my opinion, I think it is one of the best episodes, to be fair. Is that it? I think it actually is one of the best episodes, but it's one of my favorite episodes. And it's the main reason why I selected this fight in particular. Because the fight went hard, bro. The fight went hard. And for the record, I will close this part of the discussion. For those people who think Goku didn't give his all, remember this. After the fight, they both needed sensu beans because he gave one to Cell so that Cell would be, fully juiced to fight Gohan, but Goku needed one his damn self. Because remember what happens after, like later in the Gohan fight when the Cell Juniors show up, like Goku was struggling with them suckers. So I'm of the camp that thinks Goku actually did give his all in that fight. Oh, and for the record, if you go online to look up that fight, everyone has it like people have it labeled as like Super Saiyan 2 Goku. Goku's not Super Saiyan 2 in this fight. He's not Super Saiyan 2. He's not. He's not. Yeah. All right. So, yes, that is number 5 on my list. And like I said, there were some other DBZ fights that could have made the list, but I'll mention those briefly when I get to the honorable mentions portion. Yeah. All right. Let me get my graphic on. We getting them graphics on, baby. We getting them graphics on. All right. Yeah. Number 4, man. Number 4 on my list from Hunter x Hunter. Yeah. Uvojin versus Kurapika. That's number 4 on my list. Once again. There are multiple fights from Hunter x Hunter. Specifically, I'm talking about the 2011 series because I did look up some of the fights that were in the 99 series, and some of them still look good. But I'm talking about the 2011 one for the sake of this discussion, right? And there were multiple ones that could have made this list. I'm gonna tell y'all why this one made the list though, because with all the impressive fights in Hunter x Hunter, and there are plenty in there, this was. I'm reading some of the comments. Right. All right. So with all of the impressive fights that are in Hunter x Hunter, and there are plenty of really impressive fights, this was the one that impressed me the most. And this is what I mean by that. I'm not talking about necessarily in terms of the animation. I'm not even talking about necessarily in terms of the action itself or even like the style. The theme did matter. The theme mattered. But this is what I mean. So during my viewing experience of Hunter x Hunter, of the Hunter x Hunter remake, the 2011 series, right? It seemed like most of the fights there, Hunter x Hunter does a good job, I think, of setting up for fights, right? More often than not, they do that fairly well. They do a good job at building anticipation, making sure that all of the plot points are in line, getting to the place where the fight feels like a main event, right? Okay. But here's the thing about that though. With all the fights in this series, I knew what to expect from Meruem and Netero. I knew what to expect from Gong and Hisoka. I knew what to expect from Gong and P2. I knew what to expect from those fights. This was the one that was a total unknown. And I'm going to tell you why. We had just, as of the point of this fight, right? At this point, we just learned with what you excuse me, because I always mispronounce those names. Uvojin, right? We just found out what his skill base was, what his skill set was. We had just learned about his powers because he had the previous fight with the Shadow Beast, which was right before this, right? Right before it, right? So we had just learned what his power was, but we didn't know what all Kurapika was capable of. And remember, this is the fight where we actually learn what Kurapika's power actually is and to what degree Like just how powerful he was. We didn't know Kurapika was that fucking strong. And remember how the nin system in Hunter x Hunter works. It's based off of conditions that the nin user place upon themselves, right? And that's what that pretty much what stipulates it's what mandates the height of their power. Their power is only as great as the condition that is required for that to be met, right? When we found out what Kurapika's condition was, dude, dude, and the fact that he did it single-handedly, dude, I didn't know Kurapika was about that life. I did not. I did not. This was the fight that made me realize, like, whoa, Kurapika is a player. Because remember, because real talk, like I knew who Gong was. I knew who he was. I knew who Killua was. Right? We knew who those people. We didn't know who Kurapika. We didn't know that boy was about that life. Come on now, dude, 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 dude. All right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The nin specialists, they're OP, exactly. And we found out just how OP Kurapika was. But okay, but hang on a minute, because I see the comments now. Remember, Kurapika's power isn't OP though. Only on members of the Phantom Troop. That's it, because that's his condition. That was the condition of his power. Against them, he's damn near invincible, right? Almost. But against other users, not so much. So he's not exactly OP. He's not exactly OP. All right. So yeah, so that's the main reason why I made it on my list. It of all the fights in the series, it was the one that impressed me the most. All right. So let us go ahead and let us move on. Dude, I love using dual screens. I don't know why it took so long for me to start using dual screens. It makes this so much easier. It really does. It really does. It makes the production so much easier. All right. Number three. Number three. Yes. Zuko versus Azula. More specifically, I'm referring to the final Agni Kai from the finale, from I believe it's season 3, episode 20, Into the Inferno. Yeah, it's the second to last episode. Yeah. Yeah. Dude. So for those of y'all who follow the channel, for the faithful, y'all know I'm a huge Avatar: The Last Airbender fan. Y'all know that Zuko, because I did a favorite heroes, favorite villains, right? Zuko's my favorite character in the series. Azula's my favorite villain. I'm not cheating. It's not cheating. Avatar, and because you all have heard my debate on why I consider Avatar: The Last Airbender to be an anime. It is an anime. It is an anime. It's an American-made anime, but it's still an anime. And yeah, I mean, dude, what can be said about the last Agni Kai, dude? In this instance, yes, the action was very good. The animation was phenomenal. The music, oh my dude, is one of my favorite scores from that entire series. Is because and that is the title of it. The final Agni Kai is the title of that track. Dude, I love that score. It's freaking amazing. And yeah, and then the other thing too is, dude, because it was the finale with those two characters, given their history, given everything that happens in the series, and once again, what did I talk about? Setup, build up, anticipation, like that was a main event fight, right? That was a main event fight. That was the co-main event. If Aang and Ozai was the main event, this was the co-main event, right? But it was a great fight. It was a great fight. My only thing The only reason why this fight is not higher on the list is because of its ending. Because Azula cheated. Because Azula fucking cheated. Because she knew, because Zuko was trying to goat her into it. She knew she could never land a lightning strike on him. Because he was telling her, what's wrong? You not gonna throw any lightning? Why? You afraid I'm gonna redirect it? And so of course she did throw lightning at the place where she thought it would do the most damage. She targeted Katara. And Zuko sacrificed himself to save Katara, because he's a good guy now. He, got to be a hero now. But dude, it was so weak. And it's like, because she knew she couldn't because dude, at that point, dude, she couldn't take Zuko. She couldn't outmuscle my boy. They even say it at the beginning before the fight starts, because the original plan was Zuko and Katara were supposed to team up against Azula. But when he got there and he saw it, he was like, nah, I can handle this myself. And she's like, but you even told your uncle you would need help. It's like, she's off her game. I can take her. And dude, he did, bruh. He did. Dude, my favorite scene in the whole freaking fight. Is, so when the fight's starting, right, they're going back and forth. Oh, and keep this in mind. Sozin's comet is occurring at the same time. So it's not just a regular Agni Kai. Like they're they got the comet's power and whatnot. It's ridiculous. But the thing is, it's like, so there's a part in the fight, right? The fight starts off, they're going back and forth. They're pretty much, they're parrying, right? Like one throws a fire strike, the other one splits it up. The other one this is and the other. And it just seems like for the most part, they're just going tit for tat, right? Tit for tat, 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 like a tennis match, right? But dude, there's one part where Azula starts getting frustrated because she realizes she's not getting through, right? And Zuko's just heating up. And dude, y'all remember this because it's a downward like punch. Dude, Zuko hits this downward punch and just the huge fucking gulf of fire that fucking burst off of that. And it's the one that sends Azula scurrying, because at that point she has to start. That's when she starts using her rocket skates, apparently. And she starts like rocket skating across the. But dude, Zuko, man, when he hit that, dude, it blew up. I was so tight. It was so awesome. It was so fucking awesome. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I'm totally geeking out about it. But yeah, so yeah. Definitely one of my favorites. Definitely one of my all-time favorites. Like I said, only reason why it's not higher on this list is because of the way it ended. Azula fucking cheated. She cheated. But yeah. Great fight though. Great fight. And like I said, great score. If you guys get a chance, it should be on YouTube. Look up the score for that, and just the score alone. Oh my God, it's so good. So good. All right. So now we're going to get to a couple of more predictable ones, because I think I've done a good job with this list at throwing you guys off, right? I'm pretty sure some of y'all might have been able, okay, a Dragon Ball Z fight's going to be on my list at some point, right? But I think I did a pretty good job throwing some of y'all off. Now, y'all might be able to start figuring out some of these. Maybe. All right. Okay. Number 2 on the list. Y'all should already know what time it is. But you know what? I bet you still won't guess this one. Boom. Gotcha, snitch. I bet you y'all was expecting Kenshin and Makoto, right? I bet you y'all was expecting Kenshin versus Shishio. No, man. Kenshin versus Saito, baby. Kenshin versus Saito. Dude. This was all when Rurouni Kenshin first came out, I liked it immediately. I was like immediately a fan of the series, right? Oh, and for the record, the first episode of Kenshin I ever saw was Kenshin's fight against Sanosuke, right? Back when Sanosuke had that Zanpakuto, that big ass sword. But this was the fight that made me a fan of Rurouni Kenshin. Like a legitimate fan. Like I was like, oh my God, this is one of my favorite anime. All right. I'm yeah, exactly. So here's the thing. Um before I jump into why I love it so much though, hey, we try to play fair here, right? Let's play fair. Okay. Is it the best fight in the series? No, it's not. It's not. It's not the best animated. It's not the best paced. And the fact that there is so much dialogue in between that breaks up a lot of the action, that's more of a hindrance than it is a compliment. Okay. I acknowledge all of those things, but dude, was there a fight as brutal as this one beforehand? Right? Now, just because it's a brutal fight, does that automatically mean it's granted a spot on this list? No, because here's the thing. What I love about Rurouni Kenshin, what I love about that series so much is the fights are they're never just for the sake of violence, right? They're never just for the sake of violence. And actually, if you go back and you either rewatch the anime or you reread the manga, the fights are always last resort too. Think about it. Go back and look at the series. Most of the conflicts in the story arcs, the fighting portion is always a last resort. It's always a last resort, right? Kenshin he's a pacifist. He exhausts every other possible solution, every other option he has possible to not fight somebody. Saito was different because Saito was coming for Kenshin. Remember what happens, because this is the start of the Kyoto arc. Remember what Saito does to get Kenshin's attention. First thing he does is he goes undercover, right? First thing he does is he goes undercover. He hires another assassin, right? To start shit. Then he stalks and pretty much sets up Sanosuke. Because let's be real about this. Sanosuke didn't know who he was fooling with when he fought Saito. Saito set Sanosuke up for a fight he knew Sanosuke couldn't win. And then he used that fight in order to bait Kenshin. Essentially, he was baiting Kenshin, right? And then even the fight itself, the whole time Kenshin and Saito are fighting, he's goading Kenshin. Because the whole point of that fight was it was a skill assessment. He wanted to know if Kenshin was still capable, if he had kept his skills up, if his mind was right, if he was physically fit. Because remember, this was before we knew about Shishio, right? This was before we knew what was going on in Kyoto. And Saito was already assigned to that case. He was already working it. He was like, if we're going to go up against a manslayer, we need another manslayer, right? But he's like, it's been 10 years though, I don't know if the Batosai is still about that life. That was the whole point for their fight, right? So the entire fight, he's testing Kenshin. The whole fight trying to bring the manslayer out of Kenshin, right? And dude, the shit Saito pulls in the fight. At one point he takes off his jacket and he's choking Kenshin with it, and he has him like lifted off the ground, strangling him with his jacket, right? He takes off his belt. Dude, he hits Kenshin with his belt and then uses it to wrap around Kenshin's waist to try and restrict his movement. Dude, because Saito is the ultimate pragmatist. He's like, dude, you've been chilling here, fighting no-name people, messing around with this little girl in this dojo. It's like, this is a real fight that I'm preparing you for. And it's like, guess what? It's dirty. This whole samurai code shit is like, these motherfuckers don't necessarily, adhere to that code. There is no honor amongst these men, which we find out isn't entirely true. But but at the time, he's trying to relay to Kenshin, like, yo, this is real, son. And the fight that they go into fully is representative of that. He pushes Kenshin to the brink. So much so that, remember, this, I believe, in this fight is the first time Kenshin's eyes actually turn yellow, right? Because at first I thought it was the Janae fight, but his eyes don't really turn in the Janae fight. So this is the first time his eyes actually turn yellow. This is the first time he starts speaking as the Patosai, and this is the first time when he flips the blade to the sharp edge. All happens within this fight. Dude, it's a beast fight. Beast fight. Now, I will say this because somebody called me out for cheating earlier in the comments. Okay, I will say this. If I cheated with anything, it might potentially be where this fight is ranked, because this fight was going to make my top 5 because it's my favorite Kenshin fight, period. Where it was ranked, I might have cheated just a little bit. And the reason for it is because it is also somewhat informed by another fight. For those of you all, for some of the OG, well, if you watched any of my Kenshin videos, you guys know. One of my favorite movies, one of my all-time favorite movies, and like probably my second favorite anime movie, period, is Samurai X Trust and Betrayal, which is the OVA, the Rurouni Kenshin OVA film. And it's the prequel story. It's the origin story. Saito and Kenshin's first fight is at the end of that movie. That's how that movie ends. It's a fucking damn good fight. It's a good fight, even though the whole fight is like still framed. So what I mean is it's not fully animated. It's like pictures and like freeze frame, right? And it's done kind of like a montage. But here's the thing though. If you watch it on its own, it's probably not impressive. If you've seen this fight in the anime, however, and then go back and watch that OVA, you kind of fill in the gaps on your own, right? Because the purpose for that fight being in that OVA was not to actually show you the fight. It's to reference back to their fight in the series. Well, I say reference back, I guess foreshadow, right? Because it takes place in the past. Anyway, still a good fight. Still a damn good fight. That's all I'm saying. It's still a good fight. So, yeah. That's why it makes number 2 on my list. Great fight. Great fight. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now we've got into probably you all's favorite part of the video. And I know the comments, dude. The comments are about to go ape right now. All right. This is the point in time in the top 5 video where we start talking about some honorable mentions. Honorable mention time. All right. So, honorable mentions. First, I'm going to give you all some of the honorable mentions for the series that are already on my list, and then I'll start mentioning some that either haven't been mentioned yet or won't be mentioned at all, right? Okay, so honorable mention time. With number 5, what other DBZ fights could have potentially made this list? Okay. Goku versus Vegeta, a Saiyan duel. That's the name of the episode. That is the first Goku versus Vegeta fight. The very first one in the Saiyan saga. That one. And that's the name of the episode. Goku versus Vegeta, a Saiyan duel. It's one of the best fights in the series, period. It's a classic. You know, we all know the Kamehameha Gatling gun thing. The what is it? The Kaioken times 10 is in that one. Also, it has one of the most satisfying endings to a DBZ fight because remember, Vegeta won the first fight. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He won that fight. Now he lost the overall battle, but he won that fight. And also the way it ended made the most sense. Why do I say that? Larry, why would you say that one makes the most sense of any of the other fights in the series? Because of this. If you're familiar with the Dragon Ball lore, and if you're familiar with Dragon Ball, remember, Saiyan Saga is the first story arc of DBZ. So if you were already familiar with Dragon Ball, what was the big thing in Dragon Ball? Goku had an ape tail, a monkey tail, right? And with the full moon, he transformed into a giant monkey, a great ape, and Ozaru. Right? Okay, but what was the thing with that? Goku could never control that transformation. And it was the same thing we saw with Gohan in earlier in the Sand side. Well, actually, yeah, even in the later part of that fight, right? They can't control their power. So what happens when you have an adult Saiyan who can control that transformation? Duh. It made perfect sense. It made perfect sense. Made perfect sense. So, Goku never beat Vegeta. That's not true, Travis, because he beat him when they fought in the Buu Saga. So, yeah. He has beaten Vegeta. All right, so yeah, so that's why, yeah. So Goku and Vegeta, that would be the first one of my honorable mentions. Another honorable mention, which is just another favorite of mine, once again, because this is not best, this is favorite. Metacooler versus Goku and Vegeta from The Return of Cooler, the film. Love Cooler. He's one of my favorite, if not arguably my favorite DBZ villain. Arguably, my favorite DBZ villain, because I always go back and forth between him and Cell as my favorite. But dude, Cooler's fights, they're always kick ass. They're always good. I would probably say the Metacooler fight in Return of Cooler is probably the best one, just because of the actual action in the animation. Oh, and of course the instant transmission reveal, bruh. The instant transmission reveal, and then the reveal that there was more than one Metacooler. When the army of Metacoolers showed up, dude, that's one of my favorite DBZ scenes. When Goku and Vegeta are, already taxed, and it took everything they had just to beat one Metacooler, and they're looking off in the distance at the fucking mountain ridge, and all the armies of Metacoolers just start coming down the fucking mountain, and they're like, oh. So yeah, that's another honorable mention. Yeah, so those are pretty much the big two honorable mentions from DBZ. Those two. Those are the big two from DBZ. All right. I mentioned Hunter x Hunter. Okay, so what are some honorable mentions from Hunter x Hunter? I mentioned them earlier. Meruem versus Netero. That was a good one. That's one I always enjoyed. Gong versus Hisoka. I kind of consider. I mean, that's not even my favorite Gong fight though. And here's the thing. I'm gonna throw this out right now. Gong versus P2. The main reason I didn't even consider that for the top spot is because that's not really a fight. P2 got an ass whooped. That's kind of somebody just beating somebody else up. That's not really a fight. So that's why that's not on my list. But guess what? Even that was not the number 2 Hunter x Hunter fight. I bet y'all not ready for this. Y'all ready for this? What would have been the number 2 Hunter x Hunter fight, or technically what is the number 2 Hunter x Hunter fight? Chrollo versus Silva and Zeno. I love that fucking fight. I love that fight, dude. It's another York New City fight. I love that fucking fight, dude. That fight is so cool. That fight's so cool. And earlier today, I rewatched that fight, and I also watched the 99 version, the 1999 version, because it had I found a video that had a side-by-side comparison of the fight. Dude, in both it looks fucking awesome. It looks so awesome. And the fucking music too during that fight with the gothic opera. Oh, dude, that fight. That was a good fight. All right, so those are pretty much the main Hunter x Hunter honorable mentions. Let's see. The only Avatar honorable mention, the only other fight I would have considered for like a top 5 list from Avatar is Crossroads of Destiny. Aang and Katara versus Azula and Zuko. Because funny enough, if you guys might remember this from my review, that was the first Avatar episode I had ever seen. Well, okay, technically it wasn't the first one I've ever seen. The first one I had ever seen was the pilot way back in like 2001 when it was first screened on Nickelodeon, because I remember that, because I think I was like in 6th grade. And yeah, that's how a lot of people don't remember that. That's how old Avatar The Last Airbender goes. Um, since like the early 2000s, shit, late 90s, early 2000s. Because the pilot, the original, what would have became, what ended up becoming, because it wasn't even the actual pilot. Yeah. It was a pilot because it was a pitch episode. It was a pitch episode. It was an early concept episode. But yeah, I saw that back in like 2001. Um, but the first episode of the main series I saw was season 2, episode 20, Crossroads of Destiny Part 2. Yep. Now, Aang and Ozai isn't an honorable mention for me. It's a cool fight, but it's not one of my favorites. And I don't actually, and I also don't even think it's the best one in the series. So, all right. All right. Let's see. Okay. So now we're at Kenshin, right? Honorable mention for Kenshin. Um, Kenshin and Shishio, of course. I would also say Sanosuke and Haji, right? That was Haji, the Destroyer, yeah. That was another honorable mention. Kenshin and Ayoshi, that's another honorable mention. Um, Kenshin and Inishi from Samurai X Reflections is another honorable mention. Uh, yeah, yeah. That's pretty much all the honorable mentions from Kenshin. And now just some honorable mentions from other anime series. Okay, so let's see. From Yu Yu Hakusho, Yusuke and Yomi. Somebody mentioned that in the comments before, when they were trying to figure out. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I want to show this real quick. I forgot about Sojiro Seda. Yeah, the first Sojiro Seda fight, not the second one. The second one wasn't as good because Kenshin had already gotten into Sojiro's head in the second one. But that first one, the one when he breaks the reverse blade sword, yeah. I'm so mad I forgot about that one. Because that one almost made the list. That almost made the list. That first Sojiro Seda fight. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I lost my thought. Oh yeah. So I was talking about Yusuke and Yomi because someone in the comments were talking about that earlier because you guys know Yu Yu Hakusho is my favorite anime. So you figured, of course, a fight from Yu Yu Hakusho would make it on my list. Guess what, though? I bet you y'all was banking on that being number one. It's not number one. It's not number one. But Yusuke and Yomi is my favorite from Yu Yu Hakusho, which might sound weird because, number one, it's not the best. It's not the best one. The best fight in Yu Yu Hakusho is probably honestly, in terms of fights, you know what? No, it's Sensui. It is Sensui. It is Sensui. And the reason why I say it's the Sensui fight is because the Togoro one had too much grandstanding. Because I just recently rewatched Yusuke and Togoro. That fight's a big setup. When you go back and you look at it, it's a big setup. You kind of knew Yusuke was gonna win that. Even Togoro knew he was gonna win that. But yeah, Yusuke and Yomi is my favorite one from that series. Because I like Yomi. I like Yomi a lot. I like Yomi's deal. I like his plan. I like him as an antagonist. Not a villain, mind you. He's an antagonist, but he's not a villain. And I like what the implications of his fight with Yusuke were, what that meant, and what occurs with each one of those characters, that character growth that they both go through in that fight. And then of course the sacred energy reveal. Oh dude, that was fucking awesome. That was fucking awesome. But if nothing else, for those of you all who do not like Yusuke, guess what? Yomi pounds the shit out of Yusuke in that fight. And if you don't like him as a character, it's worth watching because Yomi put them he put them hands on Yusuke, bro. Ooh, he lit Yusuke ass up. So yeah, that's why that's my favorite one. All right, let's see some other honorable mentions. Okay, well, from Inuyasha, which is another one of my favorite series. It's actually from one of the movies, Inuyasha versus Sesshomaru in the third movie, Sword of an Honorable Ruler. I like that fight. Going back to movies, Princess Mononoke, Lady Eboshi versus San, and then technically Ashitaka, because Ashitaka came in and broke the fight up and ended the fight. But that's a cool little fight. I like that fight. It's a really cool little fight. Let's see. What is another honorable mention? Oh, somebody mentioned Ichigo and Grimjaw. That's an honorable mention. I'll tell you what, I will give Bleach its credit though. Three fights that I always liked in Bleach. Ichigo and Byakuya, which is probably the best one in the series. Ichigo and Grimjaw, which is probably my favorite one in the series, but then also Ichigo and Ukiura. Those three were really cool freaking fights, right? So those I'll give a slight honorable mention to. I say slight just because otherwise, I mean, they weren't even on my list, but somebody mentioned them, so I'll mention them. So coming up on 51 minutes, I just got done talking about honorable mentions. You all have probably already noticed there is one major series I haven't even fucking discussed yet. I'm pretty sure I just gave it away. Let's see. Who all in the comments? Let's see. In the comments, real quick. Which one have I not discussed? And speaking of which, have we gotten any super chats in just yet? Let's see. Haven't we? I'm not seeing any super chats. And I've actually been keeping track on the in the comments. I haven't seen any super chats. Really? Nobody? Nobody. Real quick, just real quick, like within the next 30 seconds. What series that you guys are shocked I haven't even mentioned yet? Here they go. 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 Yup. 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 Who? All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I'm gonna kill the suspense. I'm gonna kill the suspense. I'm gonna kill the suspense. Yeah. Number one on the list. Toriko, really, dude? Really? Really? Boom. Yes. Number one on my list. Naruto versus Pain. Naruto. Naruto was the one series I had not mentioned yet. A lot of you guys got it in the comments though, but yeah, that's number one. That's number one. I also had to make sure I stayed low key as all get out because I came dressed for the occasion. You know what I'm saying? Had to make sure y'all couldn't see the t-shirt. Make sure y'all couldn't see the t-shirt. But yeah, Naruto. Yeah. Now, okay, so let's go ahead and let's discuss this. All right. So I wanted to go ahead and mention the honorable mentions for Naruto right here because this was the series that had the most honorable mentions. Just going off of a list. Y'all ready for this? All right, let's get started. So, just going off of the list, we have some of my favorites. Some of my favorites, right? We have Kakashi and Zabuza. We have Rock Lee and Gara. We have Naruto and Neji. We have the Sanin fight, right? Which almost made the list. The Sanin fight almost made the list. We have Itachi and Kakashi, right? We have Naruto and Sasuke at the Valley of the End, which is the end of part one. And then okay, so funny enough, I don't have too many Shippuden fights. I mean, Jiraiya versus Pain is really good. Believe it or not, I'm not a fan of Sasuke and Itachi. I'm not a fan of that fight. But another honorable mention that I had to take off the list entirely. Okay, here's the thing. as awesome as it is, Madara versus the Shinobi Alliance, that's not a fight. That's not a fight, boo-boo. That was an ass whipping. He was just beating them. That's not a fight, but it's fucking awesome. It's awesome. I'm serious. If y'all have not, go Google it right now. Madara versus the Shinobi Alliance. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Right? It's fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome. It is awesome. But it ain't a fight. It ain't a fight. He was just whooping everybody's ass. And then of course, the fight that I used for the thumbnail for this video, and that's from Boruto. And I haven't even watched Boruto, but I've seen that fight multiple times, and it's fucking awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a really good fight. Yeah, really good, really good. Kakashi versus Obito is another good one too. Oh, Strapped Up's in the building. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. I can't get this man on a live stream to save my life. But he popped in today. What's happening, fam? Dude, let me know if you want to hop in on the tail end of this. I'll send you the link. So yeah, I had a ton of Naruto fights that could have made it on this list, right? But then I had to stop and I had to think about it. Remember what I said about the 2 criteria to make the list. Number 1, only 1 per series. And number 2, which one have I revisited the most? That one. That one. That one. I've revisited the most. Naruto in Pain. Dude. What can I say, man? What can I say about this fight? So what can I say about this fight? All right. So, okay. Why is it a favorite, right? Because you know what's funny about this too? I don't even know if I could necessarily consider it my overall favorite Naruto. Because like I said, like all those other fights I mentioned, because if I had to give you all like my top, let's say my top 3 favorites, right? It's this, the Sannin fight, and Naruto and Sasuke at the Valley of the End, right? For all different reasons, right? Here's the thing though. From a narrative perspective, this was it, dude. If there was ever a main event in Naruto, right, within the course of the series, right, you can consider Naruto and Sasuke at the Valley of the End as one of those main events. You can consider Sasuke versus Itachi as another one of those main events. Naruto in Pain was a fucking main event. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. We started it with, I mean, dude, because remember, at that point in time in the story, Pain was the leader of Akatsuki. He was the head. And what? When Itachi and Kisame showed up in part 1, that was pretty much like Akatsuki's introduction into the series. And that's when Jiraiya first told Kakashi, keep an eye on Naruto because Akatsuki, that's when we first learned of him, right? So if you think about the story all the way from that point, we've been building up to this. That's how long we've been doing that. We've been building up to that moment. $2 super chat from Trent. Bebop, my friend. Dude, you know what? Bebop got some good action. Not one that would make a top 5, though. Not one that would make a top 5 for me. Not for me. Not for me. Not for me. And for the record, I love Vicious. I love Vicious. The Vicious fight is good, but yeah. But so the build up, the setup, the anticipation, and let's be real about this, dude. Once Jiraiya Sensei went down, dude, I know people who don't even like Naruto as a character, like fans of the series who don't like Naruto as a character, who were rooting for Naruto. Like, it was the only time in the entire series. Because remember, the cool thing that I always liked about Naruto, at least in part 1, was that everybody had their own favorite, right? Like everybody had their own favorite, and everybody had their own favorite, and you kind of had like these little camps, right? You know, Team Naruto, Team Sasuke, you know, Team Hinata, Team Neji, Team Gara, Team Rock Lee, stuff like that, right? Um, this was the only real time I remember everybody was pulling for Naruto in this fight. Everybody was pulling for him. After Jiraiya, everybody was pulling for Naruto. Everybody, right? Um, this is probably the best entrance Naruto has ever made in the series because his arrival was fucking epic. And then to say that this was the main event coming off of the Pain Invasion arc, which even that in and of itself, I mean, you're talking about, granted, it was 6 individuals, right? Or 6 vessels. But for all intent and purpose, Pain took down Konoha by himself. Like, Conan was there, but even she didn't do as much. Like, on a relative scale of damage. I mean, dude, Pain decimated Konoha. He broke the village. He brought the village to his knees, right? And for this to be the main event after that had happened, dude, and then everything else that was going on with this, because what else happens, right? Because this is the fight where we kind of have like the Naruto Hinata thing kind of I don't want to say edge forward, because it kind of took a little bit of a leap forward, actually, their little relationship, because that's when Naruto started to like recognize Hinata, essentially, right? So we have that, right? We have the potential death of Kakashi. We have the potential death of Tsunade. We had what else? 8 Tails. Naruto almost broke the seal and went full blown 9 Tails in this one, right? And then of course that's when, after the initial fight, that's when we get the whole backstory about Nagado and Yahiko and yeah. Wait, yeah, that was the kid's name, right? But yeah, but like, the founding of Akatsuki and their relationship with Jiraiya and all that. So yeah, dude, there was a lot. Needless to say, because I just been rambling for like the last 8 minutes talking about this, right? But like, needless to say, this was, if ever there was a main event in Naruto, this is definitely one of those. This was the main event, Sage mode Naruto, right? This first time we got to see Sage, Toad Sage Naruto. Oh man, dude, oh god, the fight's so good. Fight's so good. And like I said, dude, I've rewatched it multiple times. I've gone back and I do when the anime for this first came out, dude. I rewatched it a lot. And the thing is, too, man, like I had an emotional experience with this fight. Even when I was reading it in the manga, right? Like, yeah, like dude, this was the fight that made me like start considering Naruto my favorite. Like, there was a period in time when I did consider Naruto my favorite character, and actually, in many respects, I do still kind of consider him my favorite character in the series. Yeah, yep. So, and yeah, and this fight was one of the main reasons of that. Like, the first time, okay, case in point, the first time we like the first like shot of Naruto with the Toad Sage eyes, right? With the Toad eyes, the complete Toad eyes, the perfected Toad eyes. Dude, that was my background wallpaper on my laptop for like what? The rest of that year? Which was, so what was that? That was like what was that? 2010? 2010? Yeah, from like the summer into the fall of 2010. That was my background, man. That was my background. Um, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's why it's number one on my list, man. That's why it's number one. Because I always go back to it. I always go back to it. Um, yeah. And And might I mention some of the best some of the best AMVs that I've seen since then have been of this fight. Some of the best Naruto AMVs, period, have been with footage of this fight. So, yeah. All right. So, one more time. Just going through, once again, going through the list. Number 5, Goku versus Cell. Number 4, Uvojin versus Kurapika. Number 3, Zuko versus Azula. Number 2, Kenshin versus Saito. And last but certainly not least, number 1, Naruto versus Pain. Those are my, oh, wait for it. I missed my cue. Those are my top 5 favorite anime fights. Yep. Sure are. Sure are. Yes, indeed. All right. So let us go ahead. I got it. Yep. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and let's hit up some comments. Let's go into the comments. I don't think we reached the super chat goal for tonight. I should have posted that somewhere on here. I need to. Ooh, excuse me. I'm gonna do that with the next one. Post a super chat goal. Just so you got because we're, I mean, dude, we've like what, doubled, tripled viewers since the last time I made the announcement. But just so you guys know, I am doing a super chat goal for tonight's video. If we hit $20 worth in super chats, I will be doing an additional top 5 video live stream, which will be community voted. You all will get to vote for the topic for the next well, not the next one, but for an additional for a new top 5 one. And hell, I could make it the next one. Honestly, I could make it the next one. But that's the goal for tonight. And Trent already started us off with $2, so just another 18, and you guys will unlock another top 5 video. All right, so let's go through some comments. Let's see if we got some questions. I see. Let's see. Some of these guesses for what my number 1 fight was. Some of these guesses are hilarious. Somebody say Yu-Gi-Oh! Really, dude? They don't even fight in Yu-Gi-Oh! Beyblade, really? They don't even fight in Beyblade. Pokemon. Is there a Pokemon battle I actually like? Like enough to say it's a favorite of mine? I don't think so. I mean, my favorite Pokemon battles are the ones I've engaged in the game. Nope. Somebody said Monster Rancher, really? And of course, I'm not all hip on these new ones, Fire Force and Black Clover and Dr. Stone and what's the other one? What's the other popular one? I know about My Hero, but there's another one. That everyone's talking about nowadays. Not JoJo, because JoJo's old. That's an older series, is what I mean. But yeah. Let's see. Full Metal Alchemist. That is Full Metal Alchemist does have some fights I really like, just none that make my like favorites list. Well, you know what? But that wasn't really a fight. Mustang versus Envy in Brotherhood, that wasn't really a fight. Mustang just lit her ass up. But if one was going to make one of those lists, whether it was, like if one was going to make the honorable mention list, it would have been that one. Mustang versus Envy. It would have been that one. Let's see. Naruto versus Pain. That is a great choice. This fight is better than Naruto versus Sasuke. So yeah. A lot of people like that fight too. Let's see. Yeah, Kakashi and Obito was a cool fight. That was a cool fight. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it more than Naruto and Pain. And Kakashi. I mean, Jiraiya and Pain is a good one too, but didn't like it. Didn't like it more. Ba, 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 ba. Let's see. Going through some more of the comments. Oh man, some of these are funny. Some of these are funny. Yeah, some of these are funny. I just, yeah. Da, 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 da. Sorry if it came off as awkward silence. I'm just reading through, like I'm reading through the comments like really, really fast, and I'm seeing, because everyone else is throwing in their favorites, which is cool, which is what I like to see. Yeah. All right. So, yep. So that's it. Yeah. That is going to be my top 5 favorite anime fights. Once again, I want to thank everyone for watching live. Thanks everyone for watching after the fact. And as you guys have already done, in the comments below, leave some of your favorite anime fights. If you have a top 5 list of your own, please feel free to share it. And guess what? I know a lot of people don't do it nowadays, but you know what? Brother here still appreciates video responses. For anyone who wants to make a video of their own, just go ahead, tag me in it. Yeah, yeah. So and when I say tag me in it, I don't mean put me in the tags of your video. I'm talking about send me your video. So yeah, but that's going to do it here for me. Once again, want to thank everybody for watching live. Thank everybody for watching after the fact. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and if you have yet to do so, become a subscriber at right here at youtube.com/OAW Entertainment. Subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you get notified and you get notified on all of the newest updates, uploads, live streams, etc. And last but certainly not least, I want to go ahead and give another huge shout out and huge welcome to my man OAW patron Khalil Young for another top 5 video request. And if you have a topic for a top 5 video that you would like to see produced by me right here on the channel, please become a patron at patreon.com/OAW. Just $15. At the $15 tier, not only do you get to request a top 5 video, but you also get access to the OAW Vault, which is the collection of the original Otaku Assemble weekly web series, the anime, manga, rant, movie review web series. You get access to that, and you get access to any and all to any and all Patreon exclusive content. Oh, and what else? You will also get an on-screen shout out, just like I did for my man Khalil at the start of your video, and you will get an invite to guest star on that. Well, actually, on every, so long as you remain a patron, on every Q&A live stream, monthly Q&A live stream. You get all of that for just $15, man. Just $15. So, yeah. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure, of course, follow me on social media, facebook.com/OAW Entertainment, twitter.com/OAWENTMT, and last but certainly not least, twitch.tv/OAW_entertainment. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Keep an eye out for updates and posts because I'm probably going to be back on Twitch this weekend. We're gonna get the Twitch stream popping again. And we're gonna be doing some Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Yeah, because I think I'm only like halfway through that game. We got to get back on it. We got to get back on it. So we're gonna be doing some of that. We might even do some more Batman Telltale this weekend. I'm not sure yet, but keep an eye out. Make sure if you follow me on Twitch, make sure you have your notifications on so you guys get hit up when I go live. All right. And with that being said, this has been Larry Williams, OAW, Commander in Chief. I'm signing off, and I will catch you all later. Peace.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?